because when I was 16 years old, um, I began to do what I call I owned my faith. For a long time I grew up in a religious home, and I think every kid who grows up in a religious home has to come to a point at some point where they ask themselves, do I believe what I believe because I was raised this way, or do I believe what I believe because it's real? And so I went on a quest to find out what was real. And when I did that, I started studying the Bible for myself. I started praying and worshiping God. And as I was doing that, I felt this is all real. There's a God in the universe who loves us. And he was calling me. He was trying to get my attention. And I felt like him show me that I was supposed to be a pastor, and I was supposed to help people and teach people about his word. My job is a mixture between administrative work and people. There's a lot of tasks that it takes to put on a church service and to run a ministry or a nonprofit organization like I run. And so there's a lot of staff, there's workers, there's other people that I have to oversee and mentor. I work with a lot of volunteers, so I meet with a lot of people and I mentor them and teach them how to lead other people and how to run different organizations or different ministries. So my day is a mixture between tasks and people. I think the skill that's the most essential is, you have to be a good leader. Most people don't think that with pastors. They think, they get up and they preach once a week, and wow, that's an easy gig or an easy job. But I think that the most essential skill is leadership. You have to be able to lead people to something. And I think that's the reason why you see these big churches coming out of nowhere. Is you're getting dynamic leaders. People that could lead Fortune 500 companies are now leading church movements. And so I think leadership is a really key essential. And I also think that the ability to listen for what we do is key. It's not about fixing problems, it's about listening to people's hearts and then getting to their heart and trying to really provide answers and solutions for them just by listening and counseling. So I'd say those are the two. For my field, what's recommended is some kind of Bible college where you can get a degree in either biblical studies or church ministry, that kind of thing. Some people go to seminary on top of that, which is another 2 years after you get your bachelor degree. You can get a master's degree. I have a 4-year degree from North Central University, which is a Bible college in Minneapolis, Minnesota. My advice would be, you gotta know that this is what you're supposed to do, because it's not for everyone. Being a pastor, you work with a lot of people who are hurting, a lot of people who need wisdom, a lot of people who need advice, a lot of people who need guidance. It takes a lot of study. It takes a lot of preparation. People look to you and put you in this limelight, and in their minds they put you on a pedestal, and in your mind you know that you're human, you know all your faults, you know all your weaknesses, so you don't think you're any different or any better than anyone else, but people look to you. So the advice I would give is know what you're in for. It's a different life. It's a life of character, integrity. It's a life where you have to sell out to what you believe, and you can't have many off days because people are always coming to you for wisdom, and you've got to be able to give them something that's deep and something that can help them with their life. My favorite part of my job is people. I love working with people. I love to be around people. I'm charged by it. I just love to talk to them. I love pulling gifts out of people. Everyone has a gift or a talent that is in them. And I love being the one that brings that gift and talent to its full potential. There's nothing more powerful than when you feel like you've changed a life, or you've helped someone, the light bulb go off in someone's mind, or you've helped someone achieve their goal, or people get it and they're healed emotionally for something that happened to them earlier in life. So getting to be around people and pulling out their best potential and their greatest qualities and talents, I think that's the most fun thing for me.
Thought letting go would be easy. Just open my hands and let it fly free, and never look back, never think of things again. But I was sadly mistaken there, my friend. I thought this water would come and wash me.
Because we're talking about youth sports and we're not talking about really high school or college, it's very important that in these tender years, you want to be able to motivate through being helpful and making constructive suggestions, because intimidation, belittling is not going to be effective at all. And so it's very important for parents who may believe that their child is talented, or even for the coach who's trying to motivate through fear of failure, it's not going to work. It's going to have the opposite effect. And if anything, that's going to undermine a child's self-confidence. They're still learning how to play these games. And as Jason Taylor said, hey, we don't get it right every time. So, why are you going to be so hard on a kid who's just learning, whether it's how to tackle, whether how to, throw a pass, whatever the sport may be. You have to have that latitude to be accepting, and so the child can accept him or herself.
We created a chapter basically on failure, because a lot of parents are afraid of their kids failing, and they're afraid of how it reflects on them when their kids fail, and they're living vicariously through their kids, and so they see this as some kind of shortcoming on their own part. And they don't treat the kids in a way that makes the kids feel like they can recover from it. And so I went to a lot of athletes to ask that question: what was your biggest failure? And they were extremely happy to talk about it, mostly because they felt almost uniformly again that it was a defining moment in their lives. It did not take them long to come up with the examples. And so we have numerous examples, from Chipper Jones leaving the bat on his shoulder when he was in a championship game, to Shane Battier shanking a punt in front of 70,000 people in a punt, pass, and kick competition, to Chris Mullin, who would go on to the Hall of Fame, scoring on his own basket when he was 9 years old. And what we got from them on a consistent basis was that somebody was there to tell them that it was all right. And it didn't mean that it was all right to fail and that you shouldn't try to practice and get better, but that failure is a part of sports. There's a winner and a loser in every situation. The best baseball players in the world don't get hit 70% of the time. The best quarterbacks in the world don't complete 40% of their passes on a regular basis. And the whole idea was getting that message across to the kids that you're going to fail again, but next time you want to give yourself a better chance to succeed, you have to practice, you have to put in the time, and that's what we got. And now I'll turn it to Andrea.
What I think will help parents is, again, to understand that for every game that's played, one team's going to win, one team's going to lose. Now, children in elementary school and early middle can be very concrete thinkers, meaning they see things in black and white. So if they lose, they feel like they're losers, but losing doesn't make you a loser. And it's very important that parents make that point to children. Yes, your team may have lost, but there can be always something constructive or positive that they can point out. But look, you got to second base, or look how many baskets you got to shoot, or how many minutes you played. So, what they have to find is within the game things that they can bring out and tell their children to help their children not just define it in these all or nothing terms. There's going to be games where the team wins and the child didn't play well, or the child played superbly and their team lost. And they have to be able to take away from all of these situations. And so rather than having a child fear failure and be so afraid of their team losing, in a way you have to embrace it. You have to help them understand it is going to happen, it's going to be okay, There's going to be another day, and you're going to go out again, and you're going to play. And so rather than being something to be afraid of and avoid, look at all the lessons that you learn. You need to learn how to be resilient. You don't want to just give up and quit, because everything that happens truly on the playing field is a metaphor for another classroom, whether it's in school or later on in life. So you have to learn to deal with adversity. You have to learn to deal with difficult situations, such as a loss and a defeat, but it doesn't mean you're defeated. It's just a game.
Go to sportsmentaltoughness.com to get your free video training and guided visualization MP3 on how to perform under pressure. I'm Craig Sigl, the Mental Toughness Trainer.